Welcome back to a new YouTube video. This one's a bit of a different one from the usual one. I got ill. I got brutally ill. Today is Tuesday the 4th of August. So Friday and Saturday, I was having a very shit day. Now obviously I competed last Sunday. So the Monday, we're traveling home. So the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was buzzing. I was hyped, got my stage photos, back to the plan. Weight was dropping down, feeling good. Obviously still riding a bit of the high from the higher food as well. So I was feeling good, looking good. Life was great. Friday came and I was shattered, like absolutely cooked. But I was like, right, this is just going to be prep. It's prep's just prepping now, you know. Saturday, we then went and trained legs. I still felt so shite in the morning. Felt like I was falling asleep driving to the gym. Looking back on it now, it probably was more illness rather than actually prep, which for me has obviously been hard to differentiate because how shit should I feel on prep? I don't know. So it's difficult. But looking back on it now, it was probably illness. I then went and did legs, full intensity training, and took a +2 on the leg press set, which was great. I'll have the video on screen here. And then pretty much just died. I had my first experience with what I still don't know if it was going hypo or not, because obviously it was the exact same symptoms. Like I messaged Taylor. Basically, I did a leg press set. I then sat down like on another leg press as like a comfy seat on it, and I was kind of not in and out of consciousness, but so there's a fucking fly. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. There was not in and out of consciousness, but like my eyes were closed and like my head was spinning, everything. And I looked down at my watch and it had been like 15 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? So then I went to unrack. My heart rate still hadn't gone down. My heart rate was still sitting at 120 plus. Went to go and unrack the weights. Literally about passed out doing that. So sat down for another 5 minutes, sipped a bunch of water, went to sit at the front desk and just sat and just stared at the wall with the air conditioning on me. And then drove home. That was Saturday. Had my last meal and went to bed. Woke up Sunday and felt just kind of equally as cooked. And then Sunday came. Went and trained first thing in the morning Sunday. So that actually wasn't too bad because I'd literally been up for like an hour when I was training and I'd had 2 meals as well. So like that was pretty good. And then went home and like, mate, when I say I was walking in slow motion, like imagine like walking in water is basically what it felt like. Like I was just walking. Sorry, I've got a coffee here as well. So I'm just going to have a little sip. Now that we're off peak week, I am allowed almond milk in my coffees again. So they're actually not absolutely pissed, which is nice. But yeah, so the Sunday, yeah, we were cooked. I came home, I did my 50, obviously like throughout this time I never missed anything that's asked of me, but did my 15k steps, and then just fell asleep at 8 o'clock. But I wasn't able to sleep through from 8 o'clock because I was then up at 10, in extreme pain, just everywhere. And then I was up at 2, felt like I was going to be sick. Cold sweats, literally put my bed, I was freezing cold, put my duvet on, roasting hot, took it off, repeat. Went to the toilet, tried to be sick for like an hour. Sick just wouldn't come out. I was ridiculously bloated and felt absolutely fucking terrible. So yeah, I woke up on the Monday morning. My weight as well was up half a kilo. Felt like absolute dog shit. So that was yesterday. And yeah, I basically just yesterday did nothing. I had obviously clients send me over check-ins. I said, look guys, like, I'm not going to be able to give you a good check-in today. It's just going to be shite. I'm not going to be able to process any information. Just let me just rest. So I rested yesterday, slept for like 5 hours during the day. And then last night, fell asleep at 9, woke up at 8 this morning. And thank fuck, like I've actually got some life left in me, which is good. Like I'm actually back feeling good again. So yeah, I was on Sunday morning, I was 72.9 kilos. Then after that really shit sleep, spiked up to 73.3, 73.1 this morning. And I've weighed myself throughout the day. I would imagine we're probably going to have a nice new low tomorrow, although I'm still being told just to completely rest today. So although I feel slightly better, steps still pretty much minimal, done like 3,100, been on the meds, been on the tissues, everything like that. Just trying to focus on actually getting better, which is kind of the main goal. As we're pretty close to show now. We are, what is this? 18 days out. So probably take today as a rest, tomorrow as a rest as well, and then back to it Thursday. I would imagine is going to be the protocol. But yeah, this video is just a little bit of an update on myself. I wanted to talk as well about kind of things I've experienced in prep that will hopefully help people that are looking to do a prep in the future. Just a bit of education on like how you're going to find things, what will happen to your body that has been quite upsetting almost. So I just wanted to speak about that. Obviously I'm ill right now, which is obviously shite, but there is other things that go into kind of a bodybuilding prep that people from the outside, or if you haven't actually experienced it or you don't think about it, is quite shit. And I think people should be more aware of it and just understand that it is actually normal to feel that way, and that you can deal with it, and it's just best to be kind of open about it. So the number one thing I wanted to speak about is like kind of well, not the number one thing, there's a lot of things, but the first thing I'll speak about is like how irritable you get. Me as a person, right, really chilled about like everything. I don't think anything in life is really deep. I don't take offense to much things. Like there's not much that you can do that will like annoy me or piss me off. So to then get deeper in prep, now it wasn't so bad. Like it was only for me until about 1 or 2 weeks out from show. And I haven't like snapped at all or anything like that. But when something slightly inconveniences you, your temper with that is so much more, like annoys you so much more. For me, I'm noticing it more around the house. Like I said, I still have a responsibility to not be an arsehole, but little stupid things annoy me. Like if my mum's asking me to do something that I would happily do, and I still happily will do it, like I'm going to do whatever she asks. She asked me to like take something up the stairs or something. There's just like a split 1 or 2 seconds in your head because you're so dieted, because you feel so shit that you're just like, oh, fuck off. Like just fuck off. Like I would never say that out loud, and I wouldn't swear at my mum, like never, right? But you get those thoughts, and that for me as a person that's not like that at all normally has actually affected me quite badly. Like I don't, obviously no one likes being like that. Well, I don't anyway. I don't like being an arsehole, but yeah, you then have to try a bit harder to not show that. Like yes, you're maybe being asked to do something you don't want to do, but you're still a human. You're still, other people still are going to ask you to do things, and you've still got to do them. You're not just a fucking robot that just has to do prep things and that's it. So that's kind of one of the things that I've found quite difficult with prep, is becoming more irritable, like having a shorter temper, especially like I've said, when I am someone that has a very good temper / very good like patience with things, almost is probably what I would say. That is one thing that I have found quite difficult, and I think people, yeah, that is, I mean, that is a part of prep. I actually had a conversation with my mum like before I even felt like that, and said like, if I do get like that, and I am like being a bit more snappy or something, like I promise I do not mean it. It's simply because I'm in a situation where I feel fucked, and that is the reason for it. So that is number one, just how irritable you get, and that can obviously affect relationships and stuff, which is why I've been trying to actually, when it happens, because you know, right, when something annoys you, you're like, I'm annoyed at no reason, right? So it's just about thinking for an extra 5 seconds and thinking, look, is it actually that deep, or am I just fucked at the minute? And all the time it comes back to just being, you're just a bit fucked. So that is number one for me. Number two is, this one's the one that's actually got me, not, well, I've been upset about it when I think about it, and think about like when I've been particularly fucked, is not feeling like yourself. Now, obviously, a lot of this is to do, is probably due to your hormones. When you prep, especially naturally, your hormones are going to be in the bin. Your testosterone is going to be absolutely in the bin. Everything's going to be in the bin. And you're almost, the way I describe it is like feeling like a shell of yourself. Like I'm a very bubbly, outgoing person, and I love being the most energetic in the room. And there's been a few days over the past couple of weeks where I've just felt that I'm not able to do that at all. And for me, that is a massive part of my personality and what I love. Like, I'm so happy that that is me. Like, I love being that sort of bubbly person. I love being funny. I love that kind of stuff, right? And when you feel like you literally cannot be that, it almost feels like you're kind of losing yourself as a person, which is tough to take. Like, it is really tough to take. And that is, yet again, it's part of the process. You're going to be more tired. You're constantly hungry. You're chasing this one goal. Almost every conversation you have in prep is about prep, which is shit. But to a random person, if you don't really have much in common, like people at your work or someone you haven't seen in a while, you've got this big thing going on in your life, so they're going to ask you about it. Even if you don't really want to speak to them, there is a topic to speak about. So it becomes the be-all and end-all. And it gets draining, and it is difficult. And kind of losing yourself is it's a bit shit, right? But still making an effort to try and be that kind of bubbly person is kind of what's got me through. Like, I am still energetic. There is days, like especially towards the end of like the evening, where I just have to just like shut down. Like, you're not going to get much information out of me, and you're not going to get much out of me. But that is part of it, and that is yet again another thing that I would tell to people, that it's not just like prep's not just like a physical demanding thing. It's a very mentally demanding thing, because it's changed me physically, it's changed me mentally. Like, I'm completely different mentally than what I was. I don't have as much energy, just like tether wise as well. You can't handle as much. So that's kind of the second thing, is like trying not to lose yourself and trying not to let prep consume you, and actually still do the things you enjoy. Like, I've still been making an effort to do things as much as possible. Yes, my routine's a lot stricter now. My sleep, I prioritize that a lot more. So the things that I did before, I'm not going to go out and do them as such. There's also going to need to be some limits. Like, I'm not going to go and do something crazy that's going to fuck me up for the next couple of days. But there is some things that you just need to say yes to. It might fuck up your schedule a little bit, but it fucks up your schedule. The time passes and you'll feel better for it. So that's kind of my second thing. In terms of like prep advice, obviously the first thing I had was know that you're going to feel a bit more snappy because of prep. And then the second thing is just like learning to deal with how you feel mentally and kind of emotionally. And then one of the third things is actually how you feel physically. So obviously I spoke there about like feeling a bit of like a shell of myself. Now that was all just mentally. Like I said, when I'm thinking about how bubbly and stuff I am, that is like a mental thing. But physically feeling like a shell of yourself as well. Like, when I go to do things, normally my energy will be really high. Like going to the shops, even stuff like that. Like when I have music on in the kitchen, I'm almost dancing around the kitchen. Like, I'm moving and like I'm doing stuff and I'm floating, right? And that is just because you've got more energy. It's fucking roasting in this room. When you then go to diet and you've got so much less like food going in, sorry for mansplaining, this is just comfy as fuck. You're gonna have less energy, and you're not gonna be doing things in the same way. Like, even simple things, like, how dumb is this, right? But when I would go upstairs, I would always run up the stairs. And I think every single guy is the same, right? Every single guy, when they get to the bottom of the stairs, they fucking sprint up the stairs. It was getting to points where some days where it's like I'm literally like struggling to go up the stairs, and that's also hard. That is a really mentally challenging thing, because at the time it doesn't seem like much, but it's just like your body doesn't have the fuel, it doesn't have the energy. So yeah, I mean, these are lots of different things in prep that I've struggled with, and that I think a lot of people struggle with as well. That they just, I suppose it's not spoken about. Obviously, people say they feel shit, but they don't speak about like why they feel shit and what they feel shit about. And by the way, this isn't like I'm loving this. I've learned so much about myself. I've had so much fun doing it. Like, this isn't, oh, don't prep. This is like, I fucking have loved this. I've lived every minute of it, and this is what I've taken away from it. And going into it, I want people to be aware of that, right? So that's one of the other things. Is that this isn't shitting on prep at all, because I've actually fucking loved this process, and it's changed me as a person, it's changed my business, it's changed everything. So this isn't me shitting on prep at all, because I fucking love it, right? These are just things that I've noticed, things that people need to be aware of if they want to prep, and that hopefully, if you kind of look at it from an outside perspective, like the reason why I wanted to speak about these things as well is so that I can actually speak about what I've gone through. And I say that as if it's like the fucking Vietnam War or something, but speak about what's happened in prep, and then how I've felt, how I've dealt with it. Another thing is going to be libido, right? Now, this is like a word that I didn't even, well, I knew what libido was, but like before prep, like, do you know what I'm saying? Everything was all good, but now it's at a point where your libido completely drops, like completely. Like I said, if I'm struggling to walk up the stairs, what the fuck am I going to be thinking about something that's actually difficult and like actually does take a lot out of the body, right? And that can be very difficult as well within relationships, because if the person doesn't understand that, that's going to be such a difficult thing for them to actually like take, because it's quite a taboo subject in most relationships and stuff anyway, that people aren't the most open about stuff like that. So to then have it where it just randomly stops is quite a challenge. And that's why I've been as open as I can be about it. And I think people need to be aware of that is a thing that's going to happen as well. I would imagine some people are completely fine, but even just when it comes to long periods of dieting, when your body is so deprived of energy and food, like its main focus isn't going to be reproducing. Your focus is going to be like fucking staying alive. So that's another thing that I didn't really think of being an issue until I was actually in prep. And then like the back ends of prep, I was like, oh shit, maybe this actually is like something that is happening and that's something that is affecting me. And something that, yeah, other people need to be aware of as well, that is a side effect that comes with prep, that you are gonna feel a bit shit and you're not gonna be a horn dog anymore. Well, you might be, but you just can't fucking do anything about it. So yeah, I mean, that is definitely a problem. Like I didn't think, right? So this is a bit, maybe too much TMI, but like, I didn't think I got boners back in the day, like just randomly. But like now thinking back, like I'd be getting them all the fucking time because now I'd be getting jack shit, right? And if you go through prep, you know that. Like if I get a boner when I'm sleeping, I'm like, holy fuck, high day must have worked. But yeah, like that is another thing of prep that's just you need to be aware of, that's gonna happen, and you also need to just be aware of how to navigate that with conversations and actually speaking to people that you make love with. So yeah, that was another thing to do with prep that you should definitely be aware of. Another thing is the costs, right? This is completely different to obviously the mental and physical sides. The cost of prep is fucking ridiculous. Like it's proper ridiculous. So I'll just run you through my show one and what like my actual costs for the first show were. So first of all, you have a membership for the actual. I'm also sweating. I'm going to take this jumper off. Give me 2 seconds. Also got my trusty MacD here, just to support. So in terms of actual costs then, there's a lot of costs. You've got your actual membership for the federation. So my first show I did was PCA Natural Sport and Kettering. The membership was 50 and the show was 75. I can't remember what, one of them was 50, one of them was 75, but already there's 125 quid, right? Which is a fucking bullshit. Fuck the federations that make, well, not fuck them because they're nice, but like, why do you need to pay a membership? And it doesn't fucking matter. But 125 quid for that. Tan is 75 quid. I did my own tan, so I saved a little bit of money on that, I think. But I probably ended up being like 50 quid in terms of buying the tan, buying the gloves, everything like that. So it's 175 quid there. Posing trunks, 50. So 225. Then we had, I had to obviously commute to Kettering, which we drove. I paid for 2 full tanks of petrol in the missus' car, so that was 80 quid. So what I say, 225, so it's 300 quid. Then had a hotel in Manchester for one night, 80, 380. Then had 2 nights of Airbnb, we're just going to say 200 quid. So it's 580 quid. Then had stage photos, which was 75, so 650 quid. Then we had all the food that I bought when I was there, which like obviously for peaking and stuff, which could be a bit more expensive. So you're talking like 700 quid. And then what are some other expenses? I went out for food after. Obviously that's not kind of an expense, but like you're talking near enough like 800, 900 quid for competing. Obviously that's because the shows are further away from me. I will have one show that's going to be close, the Perth one. That's where just expenses like pretty much get eliminated because the only thing I'm paying for is show entry, tan and that kind of stuff. So the expenses are kind of halved, but be ready to spend a lot of money, right? You're going to be buying more supplements, Peak Max, Vitamin C, Digest Max. You're going to be buying lots more supplements as well. Your veg and fruit intake is probably going to increase. Your fat intake is probably going to increase as well. To be fair, that's probably not going to be too much more expensive, but you're going to want to make your meals nicer as well. So you're like stuff like fruit and veg, you're probably going to get nicer fruit and veg. That's going to come with costs. You're going to be fucking cold. So you're going to buy more clothes, more comfy stuff. That's going to come with costs. So yeah, I mean, prep is expensive. But yeah, again, like I've said, I've fucking loved this process. I wouldn't, if I was to do this again, I would do it again, is what I'm fucking saying, right? So that is kind of my takeaway from prep and things that I've learned about myself. And yeah, things that I've learned about my time prepping. And what I would obviously give information-wise to people looking to prep, right? It's not just as simple as a diet. There is obviously like health complications and stuff. I'm, touch wood, lucky enough to not have had any like serious health complications, but I would imagine when I get my bloods done, my blood work isn't going to be in a good place. So like that is, it's not fucking yourself, but like you are hormonally making yourself worse off than what you were in pursuit of the best physique. Which if you love it is definitely worth that, right? And I've came to love it. I've loved the sport. I've loved watching everything, and I've loved the process. But it's just to let you know that it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. You know, there is difficult parts of it, but that's what makes it enjoyable. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and there wouldn't be any qualms, nothing like that. But yeah, that is kind of everything about prep that I wanted to speak about. Different video, a bit of just like a chatty one about my prep experience, how prep is going. Obviously, we did first show, was fucking buzzing with it. Now the illness is kind of somewhat out the way. We're looking to dig for more condition for show 2. And then we've got show 3 as well, which is another 2 weeks after that. So very excited for the rest of the season. And I'm very glad that I've enjoyed doing this and documenting it as much as I have. I feel like it's quite good to get like an open perspective on prep and how it's been so far. I'm not one to sit here and cry and say, oh, prep's changed prep's ruined me, bodybuilding has killed me forever. Do you know what I mean? I went into it knowing there would be difficulties, and obviously difficulties have came up. But I just wanted to speak about people and make people aware, and if you sort of relate to it or watch this and can say, oh, I was looking to prep, that's something I'll maybe be aware of, or that kind of stuff. Hopefully you've been able to take something from this video, and if you have, like and subscribe. But that's everything for today. I will speak to you guys in a bit.